What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there crushing it on the tables. We have had one hell of a week. It was a roller coaster. You can see that we were at an all-time high not that long ago, and we had a drop of probably about 5, 6, maybe 7 buy-ins right here, and then an upswing back up the last couple days. You can see this was the session from 2 days ago. Huge session, marathon session, but we just ran like shit. Maybe we played like shit too. We're gonna look into that, see what happened. But this was our session from yesterday. Just a quick 1,300 hand session that was up almost $400. And then we had another one from last night, another 1,400 hand session that we won 150. Pretty much making up for that big old downswing of 662 in one session. That had to be our worst session of the 100K challenge. And we're gonna figure out what happened here and how we can improve our game and learn from some of the mistakes that we made during this session. And we'll take a look at some of the winning sessions as well. Let's jump right into it. So just by quick glance here, looking at some of the hands, it looks like a lot of the hands that we put in over 100 big blinds, we lost. So that will definitely affect how a session goes. Our biggest win of the evening was only 115, while our biggest loss was 200. I actually don't remember too many hands from this session, except for one, the $200 loss. I do remember that hand. We will get into that. But first, let's take a look at some of the big 100 big blind plus losses. So first off, we're looking at ace king suited in under the gun. We are at a 50 NL table. I open raise to 4x and we get 3 bets from a loose player. Pretty fishy numbers, recreational, only 326 hands on this player. A large 3 bet to 4.75x. At this point, I'm either gonna pot commit myself or fold. I decide to put in a 4 bet. I make it 24.50, about 2.5x his bet. That'll set us up with a good jam of 25.50 on the flop, and he just goes all in here. We get it in. We are ace king against pocket kings. Not a terrible spot. I mean, once in a while a fish is gonna have a big hand. I pretty much think this is a cooler. We're actually 34.11% to win this hand pre-flop. Not a terrible spot, like I said, but we pretty much have to hit a jack or an ace going into the river, which does not happen, and he takes that pot down. Now we have ace king in the big blind. 50 NL table once again. We get a limp from the hijack seat, and the small blind raises. We 3 bet from the big blind, and we get a call. Flop is ace high. We have top pair, top kicker. There's 14.50 in the pot. We have 43 behind us. Our opponent checks, and we continuation bet for half pot here, and our opponent calls. The turn is the queen of hearts. There's now 28.28 in the pot, and we have 36.11 in our stack. We are pot committed here. I check back on the turn. If this player called a flop bet, they're most likely going to be calling a turn bet as well. I don't know why I slowed down here. None of the draws got there. The only hand that really improved it right here would be an ace queen. So I think a continuation bet on the turn would have been more appropriate for this hand. But we do check back, and the river is a 6. Our opponent jams all in. We're pot committed. We make the call and see that our opponent hit the river 6. We kind of let him get there. I probably would have wound up the same, but I think there was a mistake by not continuation betting the turn after a flop call. Still at the 50 NL, we have ace king once again. This time we're on the button. We get an open raise from under the gun +2, and we get a 3 bet from the middle position player. We put in a 4 bet here on the button, and we get a call of the 4 bet from the open raiser under the gun +2. The middle position player folds. There's now 33.25 in the pot. We have 41.50 behind. We are pot committed here. Our opponent checks. We jam the rest in with a board that we did not connect with. We have 2 overcards, and we have a backdoor nut flush draw. If this player was playing a low pair less than the board, they're probably going to wind up folding. They might fold a lot of other hands that we really don't want to be showing down with as well. But we do have outs if this player does make the call. Not as many outs when we find out that they hit top set though. So I think this one was pretty much just a coin flip pre-flop that did not connect with our hand at all on the flop. flop and totally hit our opponent. Pretty much chalk this one up to a lost coin flip. The turn gives us a lot more outs, but we miss our flush going into the river and lose that pot. It wasn't all bad though with the ace king. This time we're at the 100 NL table. We open raise to 3x and we get 3-bet by the big blind. I just call. We wind up flopping top pair, top kicker. Our opponent leads out for 2/3 pot and we just call in the spot. The turn is the ace diamonds, improving our hand to top 2, and our opponent jams all in. This is an easy call. We make the call. Our opponent is drawing dead going in the river and we take down that pot of almost 200 bucks. Another ace king hand still at the 100 NL table. We are under the gun +2, open raise to 3x, and we get 3-bet from the button. We put in a 4-bet here, a bet sizing that will pot commit us and hopefully induce some folds from ace kings, pocket jacks, pocket tens, maybe even pocket queens might fold in this spot. But we do get a jam from our opponent and we did pot commit ourselves, so we're making the call. Once again, it is a coin flip, a very large pot for a coin flip, and it does not run out our way, and we wind up losing another coin flip, which, you know, you're going to run into sessions like this. You're going to lose a lot of big pots, you're going to lose a lot of coin flips, and you're going to have, you know, sessions where you wind up losing almost $700, and our win rate really wasn't that terrible. We were only down 3.68 big blinds per 100. I've definitely had worse sessions than that. It was just our nat 1 was pretty terrible, so we were losing a lot of big hands on the big tables. This was our biggest win of the evening. We have pocket queens under the gun +1. At the 200 NL table, open raise to 3x. We get a call from the player to our left, and we also get a call from the hijack player. See a 3-handed flop, 10 high. We have pocket queens over the board. I just checked back. It's a pretty dry board. There are some straight draws out there, but this pretty much only connects with players that were playing low pairs. I didn't think we were going to wind up seeing a 6-8 offsuit, but this is a recreational player with numbers that are not that great, and they bet almost pot. I just make a call here from this recreational player. I really don't have a great read on the range that this player could be playing, and I think our queens play pretty well against a recreational range on this board. The 7 does not help our hand out too much. There's 61 in the pot though, and 83.44 in this player stack. I'm just going to check and attempt to let this player bluff any bluffs that would be in his range. We are pot committed, so I'm going to be calling here when this player jams, and see that we're up against 2 pair, but we wind up rivering a 7, which pairs the board and gives us a higher 2 pair. Got pretty lucky there. We were 22.73% going into the river. That's a tough read though. It's going to be really hard to put this player on a 6-8. I could see a lot of ace 10s, 10 queen, 10 king, maybe jacks. It's just tough to put a good read on this player. But we do wind up taking down that pot, dampering the blow of this session a little bit. And this is the hand that really stuck in my mind after the session. We'll take a look at it. We'll see what you guys think about it. I have a lot more hands on this player, Gaga Poker, now. When this hand was played, I didn't have a great read. I think we only had 100 or 200 hands, and I might have thought this player was a recreational player. I now know that they are a solid regular who might have just joined America's Card Room, but can definitely compete with the best out there. So full drawn to us on the button, we have ace jack offsuit. I open raise to 3x, and we get 3-bet to $26. It's a large raise. It's over 4x, and from a fishy player, a recreational player, this might look like a weak play or possibly a polarized play. It could be a very strong hand. It could be a very weak hand. I do like the way ace jack plays in position against a lot of these hands though. So I make the call, and we wind up flopping top pair, top kicker. Our opponent bets 30 bucks, less than 2/3 pot. I just call here. The turn is the 3 of spades. Our opponent now bets $55, about half pot. I thought there was a good chance we were going to see something like ace king of clubs, ace queen of clubs. We do have blockers with the ace though, so that kind of limits a lot of the ace hands that this player could be having. So I think that could have been a mistake. I think right here we possibly could have gotten rid of this hand. We are pretty pot committed though. You could possibly be seeing a king queen of clubs playing this way. I mean, there's a chance we could have the same hand with an ace jack. The hands we really lose to are pocket jacks, pocket queens, pocket kings, kings, and aces, possibly pocket nines. So I think there is a chance that we are still ahead of the majority of this player's range. But if this player was playing some kind of polarized range as well, they now hit the 3 on the flop and hit the 3 on the turn. There's a possibility of that happening. And if we do put this player on some kind of polarized range where they might be betting something like 2-3, 3-4, maybe 3-5, ace-3, but then you also have to put this player on hands like ace-deuce of clubs. So depending on how you look at this and how you read this player, it's going to be pretty close to even odds against this player's range. I think we're beating about half the hands within this player's range, and we're losing to half. I think we're going to take a look at this hand a little bit more in depth in a later video using one of the other poker tools that I use quite often. But what do you guys think about this one? Is this one where I could have gotten rid of it at some point during the hand? We'll finish it out. I do make the call for $55, and the river is a 4. It misses all the flushes. It misses all the draws. The only hands we're losing to is any 3 that could be in this player's range. Jacks, queens, kings, aces. Or 9s, I guess. And our opponent jams all in, which is either a last resort to try to pick this pot up with a bluff, or they have a made hand. I do make the call. We wind up losing a pot of almost $400, which really hurts the net 1. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this one. And I think this is a great hand to look at in Flopzilla and do a little bit more analysis of this one now that we know what kind of numbers and what kind of range this player is playing. But we can look at it from both perspectives, from what a tighter player, tight regular player, or a loose recreational player could possibly have. And we will do an analysis of this on a later video. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the videos coming out in the future. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that you do receive a message when we do post new videos. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Can't wait to hear your comments. And head down to the video description for links to all the poker products that I use, as well as the DK Poker social media accounts. You guys should all give us a like on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch. We'll get into the rebound session from yesterday in the next video. But until then, I will see you guys out on the virtual felt.